me see what your idea is. Please.
Buonasera everyone, and thanks for having me. I'd like to present how humans will reach the stars and live in infinity, because obviously we're going to lose Earth in 3 million years. So I'm going to present a modular, hexagonal habitat architecture, and for the purpose focused on lunar settlement, but I think it's an infrastructure suited everywhere. So the first principle for me is the human mission. What are we going to do in space? And I think we should keep Earth as a garden and expand consciousness into space. We humans, we can live everywhere, basically. We have the technology to live on the moon, on Mars. Not yet, but it's nothing crazy physically. But a blue whale, it's hard to get into Mars. So I want to use existing knowledge to build infrastructure for all life in space, starting with our solar system. Let's look first on past projects. As you can see, every project is going to end. And all of current habitat designs are not suited for the test of time. Once we're in space, we need to think in thousands or millions of years. We can't just litter the moon or dump trash there. We need to get rid of it again. So, as you can see with the ISS, we have a real problem. What are we going to do with it? Dump it in Point Nemo, okay, that's a plan, but what are we going to do with the moon? Dump it in Shackleton Crater? Probably not. How are we doing it on Earth? So the German Helmholtz Institute built in Antarctica the Neumayer-Station, and they just use shipping containers, basic shipping containers, and used a structure around it for shielding it from the harsh environment. Okay, easy as that. I want to do the same. So if you want to do the same, you need a self-repeating pattern. Unfortunately, octagons are not self-repeating, circles are not self-repeating, and the only geometrical structures are triangles, rectangles, which are just triangles combined with more walls, and hexagons. So we could definitely go for shipping containers in rectangular form, but the problem with that, it doesn't look cool. That's the first problem. And the second one, it won't fit in our transportation system, which is a rocket. And the hexagonal structure is better suited for that. So let's look at the launch vehicle. If you can't beat them, join them. We will be able to put 150 tons on the lunar surface, also in low Earth orbit, but with refueling, we managed to put 150 tons on the lunar surface. It's reusable, it's scalable, and they're going to do it. Maybe not in 2 years, but they landed 421 Falcon rockets. I doubt that this won't work. So for size comparison, we could easily fit 3 habitats inside of it, transport it to the moon. And as you can see in the concept pictures with the cooperation with JAXA, they could easily provide 3 rovers to the lunar surface. And I want to do the same with the hexagons. So, the principles is developing a hexagonal lunar structure which stands the test of time, and spoiler alert, it won't. Non-human structure will stand the test of time in thousands or 2,000s of years. So we need to find a way to get rid of them again. Also, it needs to be modular, because once you have every habitat is an all-in-one solution. Why? We can modularize it and use the strength of the different components. So a lot of you guys talk about Shackleton Crater, and it's a really valuable position on the moon. Let's say we start building there. We could have different phases. None of your concepts have phases. They just put the habitat there and it's done. So we could start with a pressurized system, for example, move on to maybe water recycling, and then have a full integrated life support systems. So I was part of the Melissa training program of ESA, here that's me, and we focused on a full closed loop cycle system. And as you heard before, we need to recycle all of our resources. We can't just dump any material, like no wastewater and so on. So we're using different compartments, for example, hemophilic, anaerobic bacteria, and basically every compartment could be different habitat, same structure. And the big benefit is we could also very easily produce methane, which is suitable for Starship. So, as you heard before, cosmic radiation is a real problem, and we need to shield against it. Okay, nothing new, we heard that before. But what I've never heard before is secondary neutrons. So, for example, if we use that and just let cosmic background radiation hit our habitat, it would create secondary neutrons, which are way more dangerous. So, we need to shield before. We need to shield before and then use our habitat shielding. And there was a really nice concept before. It was, again, 3D printing, but I don't understand why. Just use some dirt, pile it on top of a habitat, and you're done. And all of these concludes into my modular hexagonal habitats. I call them LUMO Habitats for module, but also from Latin lumen, light. And I think the principles shown here are really essential because I've never heard them before on any concept. We need real solar structure on the moon like we have on Earth. We can't just have a tiny foldable solar array. We need a real production system of energy. Then we can't have an integrated tank. We need a real tank farm like we have on Earth. And we need heavy machinery like we have on Earth. And we can't just land our rocket right here. On Earth we have several kilometers safety distance. Why is in every concept a rocket right next to the habitat? Why? It doesn't make sense.
This is only pictorial.
Yeah, it's pictorial. But
be relaxed because any serious architecture take into account the elements that
I know, but in these conceptual pictures, I can't see the machinery. Sometimes, or a rover or it's also a habitat. But no, I mean like a moving train, like real infrastructure, like on Earth. So, one question for you: could China build this? I would say most definitely. This concept is really easy, but I would say there might be a problem with a United States launch vehicle sending a habitat to lunar surface. So my next question would be, do you think SpaceX could build this? And I would say, most definitely, they're going to do it. I think what I proposed with my modular hexagonal architecture is not just a concept, it's like a real infrastructure where we can internationally work together. Different countries, different corporations could build different habitats specialized on different topics, and together we could build a huge habitat. And for the philosophy, I would love to see in the future humanity building on sea levels. Yeah, and that's basically all. That's how you build a hexagonal, modular, lunar architecture for everywhere. Thank you. Grazie per l'attenzione.